You're watching Skylands, the local bird's eye view. My name is Bart, and I will be your host and pilot in command for this mission. Folks, today we're changing it up a bit. No contests, no announcements. Instead, we're going to take a detour and check out Pompton Junction, a fascinating once active train station that existed and operated back in the 1800s in Pompton Lakes. So sit back, relax, put your headphones on, and enjoy the show. Back in the day, people used to refer to certain train routes by nicknames, such as the Twilight, the Phoebe Snow, or the Westerner. Each route served from one city to another, often connecting with other routes at a junction. One such junction is the Pompton Junction in Pompton Lakes.
Pompton Junction was the place where the New York and Greenwood Lake Railway and the New York, Susquehanna and Western Railway intersected. These were both part of the larger Erie Railroad.
Fun fact, at one time, two competing railroad builders were racing to get to Pompton Junction first. They were the Montclair Railway and the Midland Railway, Midland Won, and traveled through Pompton Junction onward to Midvale, while Montclair adjusted their route to Greenwood Lake instead.
Along the line, the New York and Greenwood Lake Railway had stopped for Wanaque-Midvale Station, Monksville Reservoir, Hewitt, Greenwood Lakes, and Sterling Forest. Many of these towns owe their growth to the railroad, and Pompton Lakes is one example.
Prior to the railroad, Pompton Lakes was known as the home of the Yellow Tavern, a famous Revolutionary War-era tavern where General George Washington met Robert Erskine, who later lived in Ringwood Manor and became a cartographer general in George Washington's army. It really wasn't until the railroad opened in Pompton Junction in the late 1870s that Pompton Lakes really began to grow.
Did you know that Pompton Lakes was once home to some surprisingly famous people, such as Lovell Lawrence Jr., a rocket scientist credited with breaking the sound barrier, and Joe Louis, a boxer and a person of color nicknamed the Brown Bomber, widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential boxers of all time.
And Twiggy Ramirez, bassist and guitarist for Marilyn Manson.
Did you know that Pompton Junction served more than just leisurely commuters? The New York, Susquehanna and Western Railway is a freight train that was initially used as a way to connect industrial New Jersey to the ports on the Hudson waterfront at Hoboken. Nowadays, it is not uncommon to see freight trains because the New York, Susquehanna and Western Railway is still in operation and can still be seen hauling freight through Pompton Lakes.
Fun fact, the Susquehanna was once known as the biggest little railroad in the country. The railroad was formed from a merger of many smaller lines. The rail linked eastern Jersey City to various lines connecting New Jersey and Pennsylvania and upstate New York.
By the early 1920s, there was a decline in passenger trains because people could afford their own personal vehicles or taking the bus. The passenger lines to Greenwood Lake were halted, and Pompton Junction station fell into ruin. By 1941, the tower that once stood tall at the station burnt to the ground. All that's left are the tracks used by the New York, Susquehanna and Western Railway.
If you enjoy this episode, hit the like button. Support us by hitting the subscribe button. And until next week, your pilot in command signing off.